add this thing together. Okay. Y'all can't see me. It's too light in there. Oh, no, that's ugly. Hey. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. The lighting is terrible right now. I think it's too much sun coming in. But I'm going to go ahead and get this kicked off. Hello. All right, I'm going to give it a couple more seconds, and then we're going to go ahead and get started. I know a lot of people always kind of catch my replays because a lot of times people can't make it, and it's okay. I usually get a lot more people that watch the replay. So here is what we're going to do to kick this off. It's been a while. It's been a minute. I've been in the background working on a lot on the business. I have not stopped operations, but I have definitely had to close enrollment and get some things together to take it up a notch and take it to another level. So because of that, I have been slacking and lacking on my lives lately, but I am coming back full force with them on a regular basis again. As opposed to in my Facebook group, I'll be doing it here now on Instagram. So again, I apologize for the lighting. It's terrible in here. I think it's too much sun coming in, and I might switch backgrounds here. Oh yeah, that's better. That's better. All right, because that was working my nerves. Okay. Perfect. So thank y'all for joining. Again, I do recognize that a lot of people catch the replays. So we're going to get into it today. The 4 signs that your beauty brand needs a full makeover, right? Like an overhaul, complete inside out, total relaunch, rebrand, redo. That's what I mean by makeover. Meaning taking a look at your brand and determining from inside out what you need to do to get your brand at a point that it makes it to the next level. And some people don't even realize that their brand needs a full makeover, but they do. And so I am here to let you guys know that there are 4 signs and 4 things to look out for that will let you know you need to do an overhaul, a full overhaul and full branding makeover. Now, for those who don't know and who are just watching or watching me live for the first time, I am Fatima Barnes, the business beauty coach, as you will, for the beauty brands. And I help beauty brands more specifically relaunch and rebrand and remakeover and do a full overhaul of their beauty brands for those who are struggling to grow so that they can be on the right track to seeing the growth that they desire without social media overwhelm, without guesswork, without all of the other stuff, and with the right tools that you need to get you started. So that is what I do. That's what I help beauty brands do. And I would love to help you as well. So we're going to get into it. So we're going to work backwards today. The 4 signs that your beauty brand needs a makeover. So the 4th sign, we're going to work backwards and make our way to the number 1 way that you can tell that your beauty brand needs a makeover. And that is number 4. You don't have consistent customers. Not to say that you don't get a customer here and there, right? What I mean is there is no consistency in the customers that you're getting. You don't know what that looks like. You don't know, you don't have a predictable process in place to ensure that on a regular basis, you're going to get customers, and you know, like clockwork, okay? Like clockwork, that you are going to get customers, right? And you know that if you do this, there is a process and procedure that is going to ensure that you see a level of consistency. So let me be very, very clear. That doesn't mean that business isn't fickle and up and down. I get that. Sometimes you're going to get a lot of sales. Sometimes it's going to be a slow month. But what I'm saying is throughout those slow months and throughout those times, you are still, you know that you're going to get customers. It's not a question of if it's just how many, how much, what you get, and so forth. So that is pretty much the number 4 way to tell is a lack of consistent customers. That is how you know that it may be time, not the only way, because sometimes it could be different, but that is one way to tell that you might need to consider doing a rebrand, a rehaul, overhaul, rebuild of your business, and take a step back and figure out what you need to do. Okay, now number 3. Number 3 is a big one, because number 3 is one that a lot of people suffer with, and that is you see a lot of traffic, but they don't convert to sales. Okay, and that usually tells me one thing: either you're getting your products and services in front of the wrong people and they're not converting over to sales, or maybe you are getting it in front of the right people, but there is some fundamental elements of your business or brand that is causing the right people not to want to shop with you. And that is a sign that you may need to take a step back and do a look or an inventory or a check, or maybe your brand needs to overhaul, full makeover. And let me be very clear what I mean by makeover. This is the process of looking at your aspects of your brand, not just from a visual standpoint, right? Because sometimes we think of makeover, we think of just logos and websites, and that is a huge part of it. I know how important that is, but there are some other elements, right? You don't want to get a makeover on the outside without working on the inside too. It's the same exact concept whenever you are looking at your business that way. So let me be very clear of what I mean by makeover. So some of the reasons you might get traffic and no sales, again, you're getting in front of the wrong people with the right message, or the right message in front of the wrong people, or the wrong message in front of the wrong people, or something in your system is broken and it is causing people to flock. They're getting to where you need them to go, but there's a disconnect that's causing them not to convert into sales. And usually that is a fundamental structural process or something that needs to be done on your brand overall that may cause that. And that can determine that you might need a full brand business makeover, okay? So that's number 3. If you are still here with me, put in the chat so far if this is helpful. Put a 1 or 2 or say helpful or whatever. Let me know so that I know if I'm on the right track or if I need to go back and explain something. And if you are watching the replay, which I know most of you probably will watch the replay, if you're watching the replay, I would like for you to do the same thing. So we have number 4, consistent customers, a lack of consistent customers, not knowing where your next customer is coming from, you're working really hard to try to get customers because you have no system in place, which is causing you to lack consistency with customers. And that could look like, let me be very clear and take a step back because I really didn't explain that. That could look like the consistent or constant attending 50 million pop-up shops, posting like crazy 80 million times a day on social media, follow for follows, buying followers, chasing followers, and you're doing all of this work and there is no consistency with customers. And you get a sale here and there, you get sales from doing it, but there's no exact process in place to ensure that you know exactly where your next customer is coming at. You got to look at it like a car. It needs to be a well-oiled machine. You need to know everything, every moving part, where it's coming from, how it's operating. You have to have some predictability in place, okay? So that is the number 4 way, was lack of consistent customers, because it's not running like a well-oiled machine. Your processes are all off, or something is causing you don't know where your next customer is coming from, or you have to do a lot of extra work. Hey girl, you have to do a lot of extra work to try to get customers, and they're inconsistent. It's not a flow. It's not a system. So that's number 4. Number 3, for those who have just joined, is you're getting a lot of traffic, but they're not converting to sales, okay? Which means people are flocking, or you're getting the visibility that you need, but people are not converting into sales, and that is usually a sign that you may have the right message in front of the wrong people, or the wrong message in front of the right people, or the wrong message in front of the wrong people, but there is a crack in your processes that's causing people not to convert. Therefore, you may need a full brand business makeover, okay? Those are the two. Now, that was 4 and 3. We're working our way down to number 2. Number 2, the second sign that your business or brand needs a full makeover is people complain about your costs, okay? If people complain about the cost a lot, right? We hear all the time, charge what you're worth, charge what you're worth. But there can be a disconnect that people do not see the value in what you are bringing to the table. And maybe you're not highlighting that. And a lot of times, if we're going to talk about charging what you're worth, we have to keep it real that some people charge great prices, but they don't have the service or the levels or anything else to back it. So people are complaining. So there's something there when you have a consistent amount of complaints, I'll word it that way, a consistent amount of complaints on costs or pricing of your products and or services. So that tells me there's a disconnect. There's something that needs to be done that will keep people or will prompt them not to complain. Because if you have done your part with highlighting the value, because it's not just about price and value are two totally different things. So if you've done your part with highlighting the value of what you have, you're going to get some complaints here and there, but those complaints are going to come from the wrong people. You won't hear it consistently. What people will say is, ooh, I can't afford you yet. I'm coming though. Or they're not going to complain to the person, just say, I just personally can't afford that. Not, oh, you cost too much. So it's a difference. I personally can't afford that, or I can't afford you right now, versus, oh, you cost too much. Oh, this is high. Oh, how many? If you've heard that, let me know. Oh, this is too high. Now, again, could also stem from a disconnect and getting in front of the right or wrong people. But again, you won't know that unless you do this makeover or full overhaul of your brand and you go back, take a step back. Because somewhere, some way along the way, your ship is not selling the way that it's supposed to. And that's just what's real. So again, if you are consistently hearing people say that you are cost too much, there is something there with the value aspect of what you have to offer. It don't necessarily mean that you may be priced wrong. There's several other factors that can go into that. But the biggest thing to note is that maybe, just maybe, okay, there is something that you need to do to make sure that the value of what you have to offer is showing, or else you are going to hear that all the time, and therefore that could mean that you need to make over your brand. So again, if you're watching the replay or if you're watching right now, let me know if we're tracking, if we're on the same page right now, if you're understanding where I'm coming from, if you need me to break something down even further. Because if not, we're going to move on to the number 1 sign, okay, that your brand needs a full makeover. And let me be very clear for those who just joined, a makeover is an inside and outside viewpoint. So not just your logo, your website, and all of these things that people do when they think they're making over their brand, but we're talking about a full overhaul from systemic structural processes in place on top of the look, the feel, the experience, okay? And that is the 3 things that we talked about so far. So I want to be very, very, very clear. When sometimes, and I see this all the time, people will say, oh my God, like I'm just trying everything and my sales I'm just not getting any sales. I'm going to all these pop-up shops. I'm doing this, I'm doing that. I'm offering the hottest products. I'm really working really hard, but they're not working smart because they don't know where to channel their energy. And so the first thing they do is go straight to, well, I just need a new website and a new logo and that's going to solve the problem. And then they get that and they find out very quickly that that wasn't the type of makeover that they needed. You want to make up inside and outside, right? So it's like putting lipstick on a pig, okay? You've heard that term. That's exactly what happens when you just make over the outside and not the internal aspect. So that's why I say full makeover. So with that said, the number one sign, yes, a makeover is a service that I offer in the academy. Okay, that was Jazz. I hadn't even checked the comments, y'all. I had to do better. Okay, perfect. So, the number one sign that your brand needs a full makeover, okay, is if you've been in business 6+ months or longer, okay, and you have experience 4, 3, and 2 consistently for 6+ months or longer, then it may be time for you to take a step back and do a full relaunch, rebrand, which I call a full makeover, okay? And so what that could mean is if it's been over 6 months and 6 months doesn't seem like a long time, but in business, after 6 months, if you've done the right things correctly, if you've established some things, even if you're not making $1 million right away, you should still see some type of consistency in customers. You should still be converting some type of sales with the traffic, and people won't complain about your costs if you've set the proper foundation for your business. If you've been in business for 6 months and you're doing all the right things, you should have some level of growth and consistency. It may not be, again, $5,000 every 2 weeks, right? But it should be a level of consistency where growth is spiraling upward. So especially when you start getting into that 8 to 10 month to a year mark, if you find that you've hit that year, 8 months, 10 months, 12 months, right? And there is still not a level of consistency. It's not a projection of going upwards and everything seems to be stagnant or going downwards. That is the number one sign that your brand needs a full makeover and overhaul. Because if you think about it, 6 months worth of expenses that it costs to run a business, 6 months worth of working extremely hard on something, you should start to see some growth, okay? Even if it is not, it should be trending upwards. Your business should be trending upwards. There should not be, after that amount of time, right? And let me just be very clear. A lot of people feel like, well, I got to keep going for like 3 years. No, there are ways that you can get accelerated results, okay? And that's exactly what I help my clients do. But what I'm telling you is there is still processes that you can put in place into your brand that can set you up to go upwards, right? Without going downwards. And if you find that it's staying the same, it's stagnant, or if you find that it's just going down, you might need a service breakup. And the number one way to tell that, if you are at number one, right, which is the length of time that you've been in business and you're still not seeing upward movement or upward projections or growth at all, okay, the number one way to tell is you're still not getting profit, okay? If you've hit a year mark and you haven't had any profits, and I'm not saying that you're not reinvesting into your business and putting things up, right? I'm not saying that at all, because you're going to do that in the first 6 months to a year or whatever, but you're not getting revenue. You're not getting revenue. You're not growing in revenue. At some point, it's time to take a step back, and it may be time for a full business makeover, okay? And again, that could be relaunching, rebranding, the whole nine. That is the number one sign. So I've definitely had people who were like, I've tried this for a year, 2 years, and I'm still not making any money. Okay, at some point, you got to step back. If it's been that long and you're still not making any money, you're still not trending upwards in your revenue, and you tried all of these things. You've tried the posting all the time on social media. You tried joining the different Facebook groups and trying to get followers. You tried growing your following. You've tried everything that you feel like you know how to try, and you're still not trending upwards. Again, take a step back, sis. It might be time to do that makeover, start over, to figure out what direction you need to go and to pivot. right? Even businesses that are doing well have to pivot. So if you are in a position where it's been 6+ months, a year, 2 years, and you haven't pivoted and you've been doing the same exact things over and over again and you still are seeing no growth, then that is the biggest sign. Be ready to pivot, because I've had to pivot several times and my business is doing well, right? Like, I've had to change processes. And so you have to be ready to pivot, whatever that looks like. You got to try something new if whatever you're doing isn't working. And that new could mean that you need a full business branding, whatever makeover, okay? And those were the 4 signs. So let me do a recap. The fourth sign was lack of consistent customers. Okay, not knowing where your next customer is coming from and working really too hard to get customers. Okay, that means you don't have some type of attraction model in place or some type of well-oiled machine system in place to ensure that consistent customers you're going to get in front of those consistent customers 24/7 on autopilot. You're lacking systems to ensure that you get consistent customers. Number 3. Traffic, but no sales. You're getting the traffic. You figured out how to get traffic. Maybe you pay for promo. You pay for boosting posts, which do not work, by the way. Boosting posts, they do not work. Not in the way we need them to work. They just get you traffic. But that's a whole nother story for another day. But maybe you boosted posts. Maybe you've done all these things. Maybe you got people sharing and posting. You're getting this traffic on your site or on your page, and people are not buying. There is a disconnect. There is a leak in the foundation that may cause you to need a brand makeover. And because you're getting that traffic, and that means you may be getting the wrong message, and so forth, right? Wrong message in front of the wrong people, right message in front of the wrong people, wrong message in front of the right people. Got it. Number 2, again, is complaints of cost. Again, value and price are not the same thing. Okay, not the same thing. Somewhere along the way, people are not seeing the value, and that could play into a lot of factors. Again, it's kind of the same thing. Maybe there's something in your whole grand scheme of things that's causing a disconnect, that people don't see the value in what you're offering. Therefore, they're complaining about the cost. Okay, if they don't see the value, they won't buy. Okay, don't see the value, won't buy, or they're going to complain. And sometimes it's not necessarily your product. You could have a great product that works so well, but they just don't see the value. They don't see the value in what you are offering them. Therefore, they're not buying, or they are complaining of the cost. And remember, someone saying, I can't afford you right now, is not the same thing as someone saying your cost too high or this is too expensive. Okay, several different factors go into that. And the number 1 sign is the length of time that you've been in business. You're not seeing trending upwards, right? That doesn't mean $1 million. That doesn't mean 5 million. That doesn't mean that you're on track already in the first 6 months to be at 6 figures, which isn't impossible, right? But that doesn't mean that. But that means that there's no trending going up, okay? And it's taking you a lot longer to get the results that you're looking for, because you're probably doing all the wrong things to get to that place, okay? Now, those are the 4 signs that your brand needs a makeover. So here is, if this was helpful, even if you're watching a replay, comment below, let me know if it was helpful. Let me know if you guys have questions or if I need to reiterate anything for you for the 4 signs that your brand may need a full makeover. Now, here is what I do here at the Ambition Academy. Again, my name is Fatima Barnes. I am a certified business coach for the beauty brands, and what I do is help women do a full overhaul, full makeover of their brand. I look at your foundation, we establish the correct foundation, we get you the systems and processes in place to ensure that you attract customers 24/7 on autopilot, and then we also do the outside as well with my branding coach that is on, maybe she's still on the live. If she is, you can wave Sabrina and let them know. She helps with making sure that the outside is correct. And then we also do a full relaunch plan, a 5-star relaunch plan that I've used with the $1 million brands that I've worked with to get people anxious or buying your products before your new website goes even live, right? We help you zone in on the exact messaging that you need to attract the right people. And we're pretty much coming up with a attraction model. okay, to attract the right customers, to get the right message in front of the right people all the time. And we help you ensure that you are set to make profit and that you don't hear the dreaded, ooh, you expensive, ooh, you cost too much, right? So that's what we do here. It is not just an online course. I don't refer to it as that way. It is a full program, because I don't just give you a bunch of video lessons and then say, okay, figure it out. No, we work with you to make sure that we transform your brand from taking a step back, setting in that foundation, to scaling up and setting you on track to grow your business. And that is what we do at the Ambition Academy. If you are, and I don't know if my assistant's on the call. My assistant was going to be on the call, but I don't think she was able to make it. If you are interested in seeing if I can help you with your brand makeover or overhaul, and if you are interested and you're tired of doing the same things over and over again and you're not getting those customers, your business is not doing what you needed to do, you've been in business for over 6 months or longer, and you are still not seeing the results that you need to see, I can help you if you are ready. I help ready women who are ready to go to the next level and really ready to take it up a notch, to switch from stagnant to a premium brand. And when I say premium, I mean you're not the most affordable brand in the market, but we're going to help you figure out exactly what you need to do to stand out. If that is you, go ahead and click that link in my bio, and I might need to find the link and put it in here. I'll put it in the comments after I'll put it in the comments, but click the link in my bio and schedule your breakthrough session. We can meet in person if you're in the Atlanta area, or we can do a telephone call. It is a quick breakthrough session where I take a look into your business. I look and see exactly, one, if I can help you, two, how I could help you, and if it makes sense, then we talk about working together. But I really go and dig deep to figure out what is keeping you from getting to the next level and what your gaps are. So that is pretty much what we do on the breakthrough session. So don't be afraid to book if you're ready, and if you know you've got to do something different and it's hitting different, you know that it is time to take it up a notch. You're tired of doing the same things and not getting the results that you need. Go ahead, click that link in the bio. I'm gonna put it in I post the video, or go ahead and click that link in the bio. I will see you guys on next week. And I look forward to talking to you guys again. And I hope that you're booking them calls, because we need to get you ready, right? That is my goal, is to get you to the next level. So y'all ladies have a great rest of your afternoon.